Namaskar. Welcome to our channel Alpataru, a knowledge learning and sharing platform. As we begin this new session of Guru Shishya learning module, we sincerely offer our prayer with deep regard and respect to all our parents, teachers, spiritual masters and gurus, and seek their blessings to take this initiative forward for the benefit of everyone. We shall just do some recap of the last session, what we discussed. We discussed about how to set our targets for a career with our inner choice and lackings, and then using our strength to make progress and improving continuously with training and practice. This was the core message what we discussed last time. Now in this session we shall see what are the challenges and difficulties one faces as one try to achieve the targets and goals. Now youth is the most important stage, and we all must take highest care in shaping and building this beautiful asset. Because when a youth is groomed properly, it takes care of the family, it takes care of society, it takes care of nations for many generations, and also takes care of the next generation. But youth experiences unique issues, challenges and difficulties which we need to understand them very closely. Lecturing to become good is fine, but what is required is to help youth understand issues in the way he or she perceives and feels comfortable. That is the most important thing. How we take a youth to discover his or her key strength as development takes place automatically when a youth is focused more on the strength, what natural strength she or he is carrying, that becomes the focal point. So once we strengthen those points, then there is bright possibility of improving very fast. If you see in nature the way things happens, a beautiful or a normal seed of a plant, if you just throw it open into the soil, many of them, if you just throw it out, you will see naturally the light, the air, the soil, the water, all the nature forces, they participate to make that seed reach to its destination. Nature otherwise is tuned to promote positivity, growth on its own. Just we have to align that. Same way, a youth, when they are aligned with their strength, they automatically start progressing. So the teacher or the master who speaks to them, because this will differ from one to one. So our main objective is to strengthen those points. One more problem happens at youth, especially when they start seeing the environment, they start getting the examples from different colleagues, from friends and all in all. And in that process, it try to import the points, import the strength attributes into oneself and then start grooming. That creates problem. Because we have to understand that whatever we are doing, we need to build our own strength, or if there is something which is already there in you, everyone is carrying some strength point with them. those points we need to groom up. That is the most important thing. That needs some analysis, some understanding, some insight. And there the role of the trainer, there the role of the master lies. In this session, we shall discuss two important issues related to this. One is to build up the strength. The main challenge is the fear. Fear of so many things. So we will see that how the fear comes, the psychology of the fear. And second issue is that about the SWOT analysis, or which we just spoken about, the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. A typical keyword, SWOT. So this analysis gives enough inputs about a student, a candidate. So if we get into the issue of fear, there are varieties of fear in life. I think around 80 or 90 types of fear are there. Like few of you are like this: fear from a future, you do not know. Fear from height, fear from fire, fear from water, fear from pin. Death fear is always there. So there are so many types of fear. Among them, I think the most important fear is the public speaking fear. When someone wants to speak out something, when someone wants to communicate something, fear grips in. And this fear becomes very important. So to control this fear, we need to understand this fear. What exactly happens? What exactly is the issue? Once we understand this, then the fear will never come, or it rarely comes. If you see in real sense, fear, like I am talking to you, the building in which I am sitting and talking to you, you are listening my lectures, sitting in some building, some place. Now there is all probabilities that this building may collapse, earthquake may come, so many things can happen at this moment of time with you or with me or with someone else. But we don't fear with all those things. Those thoughts never comes to us. Actual things which can happen, we never fear. In the night time when we sleep, we don't know whether we'll get up or not, but we plan everything for tomorrow, day after, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. We take insurance, this, that. So everything we prepare for that future on which we do not have any control. But we don't have fear, because we don't put our mind into that, thinking into that, and that don't disturb us. So it's a very interesting thing about fear. So how the fear influences a student who is preparing for competitive exams is very, very important. Now I'll give you some example, like when we discuss the issues with our parents, brothers, sisters, friends in our home, typical. We speak very freely, frankly, we communicate very effectively as well, most of us. There may be some problems, but still we are very much comfortable and at ease at home. But you see, the moment you come to school, the moment you go to college, the moment an interviewer asks you something, we start fumbling out. We get so many things in mind. Whether or not, yes, no, what will happen, this, that, so many things clouds your mind and imagination gets shattered. That is the fear it comes. Why it comes? If there is some problem, actual problem, then fear should have come there in home as well. In your own environment as well, fear should have come. But rarely it comes in those places. Any new place it comes. So I think fear is something linked with the imagination. We build up something, some imagination and some hypothetical scenario we create in our mind, and that creates fear. You try to imagine those situations when in a classroom or on some function days in a school or college, you went to speak out something on that occasion. You want to read out something, some message. But before you could speak out, so many things happens inside the mind. You have not spoken, you are just standing there, you are just reaching to the dais to speak out something. By the time you reach there, all these thoughts would have come to you, saying that, okay, the moment you speak, everybody will laugh. The moment you speak something, that will be wrong. So we anticipate. Nothing has happened, but you have drawn all conclusions. This is going to happen, that's going to happen. So fear builds this way. It is not exactly the real thing. It is an imaginary imagination which we create on our own. It has happened with me, with all of us. But why I am trying to say is that this is the analysis. You need to understand that we build it up. There is nothing like real fear. We build like this, so it comes. If you see the stepwise process, say in a classroom, when a teacher asks you a question or interviewer asks you a question, 2-3 things happens in the mind. First thing, many of us, I have seen some of my friends, they become totally blank. There is no yes, there is no, nothing, totally blank. They become just blank. Then second, some people, they react that they get lots of thoughts on those questions what have been asked to them. So many answers come, so many thoughts comes. Second category of people. But they are not able to make something concrete out of so many options and produce one outcome, one answer. They are not able to do that. And in third case, there are students, there are youths who also get so many options, answers, and they are able to also find out, okay, this is the best one, this is the correct one. But the moment they try to narrate, they try to communicate, they are not able to communicate. Again, because of some problems, some fear that somebody will understand this way, that way. If I say, they will think like this. If I say, they will think that way. And all those things comes into the mind. That is the fear. So, because of the fear, what happens? Your communication ability, either written test or interview or any time, this communication ability comes down. Communication is, I am not saying communication means linked with the language. It is not the language, because of that you get fear. In mind, if you think coolly, just one question to you. Can you guess in which language the mind thinks? Whether mind also having these kind of language problems? I think possibly no. Language comes when we try to express that. So before expression, there is thought. That thought is having, I don't think that thought is having any language. The problem is that thought is not structured, not beautified, it is scattered kind of thing which comes, and that you are not structured, so you are not able to express. That's the problem happens. So structuring the thoughts in the mind, beautifully placing it and slowly delivering it. Once you think in that way, let the world laugh on you, no problem. Let everybody laugh at you, no problem. But you do your task of expressing yourself. If you think in this way, then fear goes away. Otherwise, fear remains there. There is one story on about this in some spiritual book I read some time back, maybe a couple of months back. How the fear is basically an imagination. In what way, I will tell you. With this example, you can find it out, which I read in one of the Indian spiritual masters' book. Once there is light and there is darkness. Once darkness reached to God and told him, God, please help me out. God asked, what happened? Then darkness says, right, whenever I want to take rest, whenever I want to sleep, whenever I want to relax for some time, I am not able to do. This light always chases me. It is constantly chasing me. And I used to be here earlier, but now I feel fed up with this light. You please help me out, do something. God says, okay, don't worry, you please go back, I will do something. God calls light, light comes. God asked light, why you are chasing the darkness? He came to me, he was pleading and feeling bad and all and all and all. Light says, God, I am extremely sorry, I will see my pardon. I am I too feel bad that I caused so much problem to darkness. But God, my problem is that I am also moving for very long time. But I have not seen darkness anywhere. Wherever I go, it is all light only, there is no darkness. Something like this happens with the fear. Fear we build, we create an imagination and picture, an anticipation. We ourselves only create fear. There is no one else. And with that we having this problem. So I think fear, to an extent, this point has been clear to us. Now we go to the next point, how to utilize the strength, which I just said in the beginning. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. Understanding strength, playing with strength, promoting strength, always bringing strength forward to your personality, to your action. That is that should be your strategy. In an interview, if the interviewer is asking you so many questions from different subjects, topics, try to take him or her into those domains where you are having adequate knowledge. Don't go in those areas where you are already weak. Even if they go, you try to come back to your strength point. Because in strength areas, you are more confident, you are able to express yourself. So this understanding of strength, that's why in the first lecture also I told you, understanding the strength is very important. Maybe in last few lectures I will try how to draw the SWOT table for your personality, but now we will focus to this much understanding only. Then some of the students are very good in communication. In interview they communicate very effectively. Some are not. Some are silent type, introvert type. They are not comfortable too much into talking things and all. Okay, they may be having some other good points of writing very effectively or some other points maybe. So once we know that this is my issue, then say in a typical competitive exams where the interviews are there, written tests are there, the guy who is already having good possibility of performing best in the interview, he need to focus more on the written test to improve that. That is a weakness, weak area, possibly weak areas. Something like this we need to plan. Where our strength lies, we have to strengthen that. Where the weakness lies, we have to improve that. This kind of dual strategy about your personality, this nobody will know. You only know is best. So you have to see that in your personality without taking any other wrong conclusions. Try to see yourself very clearly, purely, honestly. Then you will understand, okay, this is my strength and weakness and this is the way I will modulate. Then one more very important thing about the competition point of view is that in the written test and in the interview. In the written test, normally when you start the examination, maybe say for 3 hours, maybe for 100 questions and all. So you have ample time, you have enough questions, you are fresh, time just started, so you don't feel the stress. So there is also some kind of fear that comes because of the stress. But when you go to the end side, when the time is less, more questions to be solved, more tougher questions to be solved, that time the fear grips in. And that time, simple questions also you fail to answer. Very easy questions, but that fear grips in because of the stress, and that reduces your efficiency, your performance, and you get less mark and all. Interview, what happens? Just opposite happens. Interview, if you are able to answer first few questions very properly, clearly, then automatically you gain the self-confidence and you are able to, in a position to reply to other answers correctly or to the satisfaction of the interviewer with more better confidence. So in an interview, the scene is that if you are able to prepare first question properly, possible first questions properly, then your performance is very good, likely to be good. In written test, just opposite happens. So if we know this is my strength and weakness is like this, then I can prepare to avoid this kind of induced fear. In written test, you can make one strategy that instead of solving the questions from serial numbers, I will first try to attempt all those questions which are much easier, can be done in a short time. So you complete the first scan of the entire book set. So there may be many simple questions, easy questions, position the last chapters on the last numbers. You expose to them at this point when you have the strength of time with you, so that at the fag end you left with less questions and more time to solve. So this kind of operational strategy to handle the task in hand, either during interview or during written test, this kind of preparation need to be there. So these are all linked with your strength and weaknesses. How do you manage? If you know that I get stressed because of time, then I prepare like this. Many students I have seen, they will open the watch. In our time there used to be watch, and they will reverse the watch, and they don't see the watch while they are attempting the questions. So by seeing the watch, they don't see the time, they see the difference of the left over the time, how much is left, and with that they get induced stress. So they don't see the time. So there are many ways. This is the one, I mean, it varies, but this is the way you need to use your strength, control your weaknesses. Then SWOT, in that one more term is the opportunity and threat. Threat is the problems which when you are preparing for something, some examination, some preparation. Threat is something negative to those preparation. Maybe social, maybe financial, maybe there may be so many things. You maybe this exam may be combining with something else, I mean interconnected things and all those things. Opportunity is a very interesting thing which is otherwise important for life, not only in competition for jobs, but also for starting your own business opportunities and all, because opportunity, understanding, seeing, judging is very important. Once I was traveling by Rajdhani Express, the train stopped, say early morning, say around 5 o'clock, near to, it was not station, at some red light, it stopped. So incident that day, my station was next, so I was woken up by the time. So I thought I'll just go and take the fresh air. When I was opening the door, I could see one small child, maybe class 6-7 students type. He was moving with one kettle with hot tea. So I asked him, okay, and there was no station, nothing, no station, no one there. This little boy and red light and some few huts kind of thing. I took tea from him, but I was surprised at how this guy is here at this moment of time. I asked him, how you can, I mean, how you prepare tea suddenly and you are here? Then he was saying, sir, I keep on observing this train. मुझे ये मालूम है कि ये ट्रेन सुबह 5 बजे यहाँ से निकलती है. समटाइम्स रेड लाइट के कारण ये ट्रेन यहाँ रुक जाती है. आई नो दिस थिंग, सो आई नॉर्मली प्रिपेयर एंड कीप द थिंग रेडी. अगर ज़रूरत पड़ता है तो मैं आके यहाँ सेल कर देता हूँ. सो यू सी हिज power of observation. There is an opportunity which he is able to observe that and convert that opportunity into his gain. At that little child, he was hardly 13-14 years old. I was surprised by seeing his intelligence. This business strategy many times we say in lectures and all, but you see how he is applying the mind. So this kind of understanding of the opportunity when you have to appear for those competitions, when you have to go into for startups or anything where you feel that your career need to be progress in that direction, that kind of understanding the opportunity is must. So today we discuss about the SWOT analysis, about the fear issues. Last point I will touch. Once we set the target, we prepare to achieve those targets, then we check back our strength, weaknesses, we improve them. and then again we attempt to do that. In that process, self-confidence plays a very vital role. Now, self-confidence will come with knowledge and skill. Self-confidence will not come just like that by saying, reading books, not come. It will come when you acquire the knowledge, when you acquire the skill. And for that, I told you in last lecture as well, we need to prepare for competitions. We need to participate. Participation in small wins make you ready for bigger war. So the knowledge, skill and practice, and along with self-confidence, they move into each other. Self-confidence automatically builds up with knowledge, skill and experience, and again self-confidence. These three will make the progress very fast. So with this, I conclude here, and in the next session we shall discuss few more very important psychologies. I'll just give a brief to you that human being, the mind-body intellect system, it's not something very physical thing. It is physical, it is having the hard power, what we say, but it is also having the soft power requirement. Emotional, aspirational, inspiration, there are many soft powers. So human being is not only driven by hard power, the power of hands, legs and all. The soft power is equally important. This soft power or this capacity of the human being to perform best reduces under stress condition and also tremendously improves under when your thought is very stable in those conditions. So managing stress is one of the most important these days. So in our next session, we shall discuss, while preparing for competition and success, how we shall maintain the stress management issue, how we shall maintain the stress so that our performance always remains to the best, because we are not mechanical beings. We are very much thinking, emotional and psychological human beings. So understanding the mind power is very, very important. This mind power makes us very strong at times, and at times we experience acute weakness because of these reasons. So with this I conclude. Namaskar. Thank you.